Howdy, folks. The 2012 presidential debate, second debate, is officially over. A couple things just jumped out to me. They decided they were going to pander to women some more. What's interesting, they brought up, well, the president brought up that he signed one of the first things he did back in 2008 was he signed the Lilly Ledbetter Act. You can look up who Lilly Ledbetter is. Basically, she was in favor of equal pay for an equal job. I agree. The president ran around touting, his credentials on women. Yet in 2010, his administration was exposed for paying female staffers less for doing the same job as their male counterparts. Hypocrite? I think so. President went on to tout that he's forcing insurance companies to pay for contraceptives, even for women who use that as, for birth control, for recreational sex. So the problem with that is if you're going to pay for someone's medication to protect them against a completely voluntary act, then why not pay for a man's Viagra? I mean, that's a voluntary act too. I'm opposed to that. I'm opposed to paying for birth control if it's not for a medically necessary need. But again, oh, excuse me there. I just wanted to point out that that's the hypocrisy, though. But that's Obama pandering to women, saying, look, forget what I do over here. I'm not going to pay him the same. I'm going to treat him, differently. But I'm going to give you $8 a month of free birth control. So that was one thing. They argued about bailing out the auto industry. Fact is, even with the bailout money, they still took. GM, Chrysler still went through bankruptcy. It just, Mitt Romney said, look, they should go through a structured bankruptcy. A lot of companies do that. Wow. Something in my eye just won't get out of there. But a lot of companies do go through a structured bankruptcy. Even with the bailout cash, GM and Chrysler still did it. Mitt Romney's right. They could have went through a structured bankruptcy and we wouldn't have sent tens of billions of dollars over there to bail them out. To this day, the government owns so much GM stock. If they tried to sell it, they would take billions and billions of dollars of a loss. GM is not doing well. They're still on the edge of the cliff. Chrysler's buzzing along all right, but of course that's, Fiat owns a big chunk of them. So the president was not correct on GM. He lied and distorted the truth on GM. How many other topics? Oil leases. Mitt Romney kicked his ass on that. Go look at I believe it's the Department of Interior's website. Go look at the revenue that they're receiving from oil companies paying them for the leases. It's gone from the tens of billions of dollars down to a couple $100 million. Why? Because Barack Obama has yanked all the leases out from underneath these oil companies. And now they're not getting paid the revenues. Where the increase in production is on the private side. People setting up their own wells on their own property and pumping oil because the price of it's so high. Why? Because the president said under his plan, prices for gas and oil would necessarily skyrocket. He also said that you could build a coal-fired power company, but you're going to go broke. This because of his policies. That's what Obama said. All right. I thought it was kind of funny on the question on gun control. Well, it was on the automatic weapons. Well, here's the thing. Okay. Automatic weapons are illegal to own unless you have a special permit from the federal government and, via the ATF. I mean, I don't have one. They have to come out. You got to fill out tons of documentation. You got to do more background checks. I believe they come out and have a one-on-one meeting, and you got to be approved. It's not just oh yeah, I just go down to the gun show and buy a fully automatic weapon. It's stupid. I should have went and grabbed a couple of rounds of ammunition because people are ignorant. Okay, they talk about an assault rifle. Okay, they don't even know what that means. They say an assault rifle is something that looks a certain way, and it's assaulting because it looks scary. The fact is, you can take an AR-15, very popular semi-automatic, which means it only fires as fast as your finger can do this. Okay, it uses what's called a .223 caliber. Okay, not very big. It's about that long. There you go, about that long. Okay, not very big. A typical deer hunting rifle, a .308 caliber or a .30-06. I mean, if this is a .223, a .308 is about like that, and a .30-06 is like that. So to sit here and say, oh, well, that's an assault rifle, because it looks scary, because it's black, and it's got a collapsible stock on it. Automatic weapons, like Obama and that woman in the crowd who asked a question, automatic weapons are not available to the general public. You can't go to gun shows. You just can't buy automatic weapons. Okay? The only people that can buy automatic weapons, other than those who go through the rigorous background check, are drug dealers and gangsters in Mexico that our own White House authorized weapons to be sold to. Kind of interesting, huh? American citizens can't buy automatic weapons, but by golly, we'll sell them. We'll sell them to the Mexicans. We'll let the drug dealers have them. Yeah, that's a fact. It is. Obama can't deny it. It was his ATF. His Justice Department. They're the ones that sold them. And as the president said tonight, the buck stops with him. So is he responsible for Brian Terry's death? I think so. That's what the president wanted. Libya. Well, isn't it neat that the president is just a freaking bold-faced liar, and he can sit there, and that jackass Candy Crowley sat there. She's in the tank for the Democrats anyway. She interrupts, Mitt Romney and tries to, correct Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's correct. Barack Obama never did say that this was an act of terrorism. The day after it happened, I believe, he went into the Rose Garden and said it was an act of terror. Well, that is not calling it terrorism. How do we know this? Because a few days later, he was on The View. When they asked him if it was terrorism, he said, wow, we're still looking into things. When he was on Univision being interviewed, he said the same thing. Wow, we don't have all the facts yet. He went to the UN and pandered to them and kept referring to this video. Yet we know without a shadow of a doubt that we have a live feed. The State Department watched the attack in real time. They sat there and watched it. Why there wasn't, I don't know why, including Mitt Romney, why hasn't someone said, if you sat there and watched it, why didn't you have a Predator go in there and fire a Hellfire rocket or drop a cruise missile over there and distract the terrorists and give these people the opportunity, give our citizens an opportunity to get out of there? A lot of unanswered questions, but the president never did call it an act of terror. Well, an act of terrorism. Big distinction. I mean, a lot of inconsistencies tonight. I think all the president came out definitely more aggressive than he was in the first one. I thought overly aggressive. I think they both were a little abrasive, but Mitt Romney was trying to get the facts out there on the table. I mean, when you look at it, 23 million unemployed, $6 trillion in new debt, 47 million people on food stamps. This 7.8% unemployment is a bogus number. Mitt Romney pointed that out. The only reason why it's 7.8 is because so many people have quit looking for work. They've dropped off, the books. Otherwise, we'd be closer to 10.5%. Energy prices are up. Health insurance costs are up $2,500. Gas is up $1,500, $2,000 a year. College is what, up by 25%. Geez, I mean, just the cost. Personal income is down some $4,500 ish, somewhere in there. People are feeling the squeeze, and those are facts. You can't deny them. So. I watched some of the focus groups, and they're breaking big for Romney still. Even after tonight, the focus groups are still, and these are focus groups of undecideds. They broke, I would say, 70-30 for Romney. But, people, please look at the facts. If you're a Democrat and you're watching this going, oh, this guy's off his rocker, he's just talking about nonsense, look at the facts. All the facts are coming out. We knew about the live feed the day after this happened, in Libya. The president lied about it. The president the man does not know how to tell the truth. And he is so over his head trying to run the economy and everything. He's got no experience. He's never run anything, not even a lemonade stand. So, folks, please, listen to what I've said. Go out, independently verify it. Know it for yourself. Know the facts and take that and just cloak yourself in it and say, now I know the truth. Okay? I don't take anybody's word for it. I was watching Glenn Beck the other day, and, he kept touting Ford. Ford didn't take bailout money. Well, they damn sure did. 2006, they bummed $24 billion off taxpayers. And then again, I believe it was in 2009 or 10, they took another roughly $8 or so billion from the Energy Department to retool some of their assembly plants to build more fuel-efficient cars. So, when he said that Ford didn't take bailout cash, I went and researched it, and that's what I found. So, and I like Glenn Beck, and I trust a lot of what he says. But I verify things. I need to know the facts. And when you do, man, it's kind of a liberating feeling because you can look at something and say, you know what? That's not right. So please, listen to what I said. I gave some things to think about. Go out and do the research. Go to independent, sources. Don't go to, the Huffington Post or Media Matters. They'll distort the truth. Go out. I use the government's own numbers a lot of times. That's a fact. 23 million people unemployed. That's a fact. $6 trillion in new debt under Obama. That's a fact. So check it out. I appreciate you watching, and God bless America.